now to talk about the $110, 141 gigabyte turd that I removed from my PC, which is entitled MK1.
It's time.
I've been playing. I'm 33, man. I'm 33. And I've been playing games since I was 3, so for about 30 years now. And I have experienced a lot of games. I played a lot of games, a lot of good games. I played some bad ones. I've read a lot of magazines when I was growing up: Game Pro, Game Informer, Electronic Gaming Magazine, PlayStation Magazine, Xbox Magazine, PC Gamer. I've been doing this a while, and like if you pay attention and you absorb enough knowledge, you can kind of tell things over time, trends that have been happening more so in the recent decades of like the generation of gaming. You kind of can see stuff, right? MK1 is the game for me. I wasn't really hyped for it, even seeing the trailers. I was like, okay, it's cool as an MK1 game, but it just looked like MK11 to me with just like very slightly different art style. Like it almost looked just like MK, maybe a little more colorful. I'll get it one thing. MK11 was a little like drowned out with the color. MK1 is just like MK11's graphics to me with just more color, more vibrant colors. So first off, PC version is unauthenticated. I got a list that I'm going to go through of the issues that I found. And this before I say this, I don't want nobody to say, "Oh, well, this only PC version." No, any version of MK1 you play it's not a great game. In my opinion, it's a 6.5 at best. I'm going to read off all. When I saw this game first drop, it had 9s and 10s, and I'm like, man, I don't know who's playing these games, who's doing this reviewing. This is one thing I actually like about Angry Joe. I watch Angry Joe a lot, his game reviews, because he's actually pretty thorough and objective and honest with the game. He's not going to say something because, oh, somebody paid me or this, that, and the third. And that's kind of a slight issue I think I have with some of the gaming reviewing space nowadays. And I'm like, y'all actually really playing these games and looking at them through an objective lens, or is this like nostalgia? Or, I don't want to make this like, bro, this game got 100 out of 100 VGC, 100 out of 100 Games Radar, 9 out of 10 Game Informer, 95 out of 100 from Well Played, 10 out of 10 God is a Geek, 10 out of, I'm like, bro, y'all did not play the same game I played. So that's just one thing I'm just like, man, where y'all getting these scores from? PC version is one I have. It's unoptimized. Literally from the day one when I bought the game and downloaded, I had issues. It took forever for some reason to download it and for it to install. When I actually got to play it, I was like, oh, it's time. And then I hit the start button, and it took me like 30 minutes to get into training mode. I was like, oh, okay. Maybe that's just like something still hadn't fully installed yet, or some shaders are loading. And then I finally got to the character select screen, and then it took me like another 10 minutes to get into the actual stage of training mode. I'm like, that's a little odd. Normally training mode is pretty fast, but I don't know, maybe something's just going on. So yeah, I mean, I made content for this game. I actually had some videos do pretty well, like combo videos and stuff. I made like one tutorial video on like tech and grabs, but I just couldn't do it anymore, man. I actually stopped making content for it, and I'm just like, I don't have fun playing this. Like this, like if I'm gonna make content, I want it to be something I actually enjoy. And something that's not taking me, it's like it was so inefficient for me to make videos, because it's like it takes me like almost 30 minutes to get to training mode. So to do a combo video, it's taking me forever. It already takes time sometimes to do these videos, but now it's taking me forever. So even as a content creator, in my opinion, from my experience, it was terrible. So me and my roommate, we noticed this as well. We two people playing on the same account. If that person has skins they've unlocked, you're playing local multiplayer, the second player cannot use the skins that the first player has unlocked on their console.
Oh, wow.
Where they do that at in 2023? A modern fighting game. We're playing on the same TV, on the same console. Oh, he got that skin, I'm gonna use it. Oh no, you got to sign in on another account, and you got what?
That's crazy.
Glitches, like I had so many glitches, like going into online ranks. Like I played Shang Tsung and Jax. I can't tell you the amount of times that Jax was in the back like this, T-posing, like as the match started. Like brother, what are you doing back there, sir? Are you trying to show off those shiny golden arms you got? I had like a skin where he had like golden metal arms, like countless times. Like people, the opponent, that cameo just T-posing. brutalities, like glitched out brutalities. Like I did a brutality on Johnny Cage and his head just floated in the air, like he's on the ground but his head's still in the air. I was trying to do content with Havoc, and his command grab where he like snaps his neck or whatever, his head will like stay in the air like for a little. I'm like, what is happening, man? Poor practice mode options. Like you couldn't change the character in practice mode, and they kept piecemealing every update. They piecemealed stuff that was already in games like in the past 5 years, 10 years, like indie games. Something like Punch Planet has options like this. You can change the stage, you can change the character, you can look at plus frames, you can see like it shows you visual like hitboxes and stuff like that. That's an indie game. It has that type of stuff in it, right? You couldn't tag combos anymore, which like this is what y'all kind of innovated. Why can't you do that anymore? You can't tag combos. They added that in an update. Like I said, it was a lot of piecemealing, stitching this game together. You know, I have a friend of mine that we have a two friends. They playing Injustice when Scorpion released because he was so broken, and he was playing against them, and one of the friends said, matey, he needs a patch. This game needed a patch, man. Like it was just getting like stitches every so often. Every update was getting stitches. This little thing that should have been here was added. Now you could change the cameos. Like why can't I change cameos in practice mode now, but I can't change the character? You see, like that's just in it. So now I gotta go waste another 10 minutes going to change my character because I just can't do it in the practice mode options. But I can change my cameo. What? Like just stuff like that just made no sense. Sound issues. Like that was multiple times where I'm playing a game and the sound just go out. This happened multiple times. Playing on PC and PS5. The sound just goes out for a stage. So it's like, and this is on multiple stages. Like happened plenty of times, at least 20 minimum. The cameos felt broken. People were like, "Oh, it's just like no, it's not like Marvel." Because if you have a versus game, you have a game with assist characters. The whole point is like there's a certain flow to it. So you have certain characters that have assists that can come out like Marvel assists somewhat. Like you can still move. They're called ambush assists. But then you got people like Frost, which all of her cameo assists are just I don't even know what you call them, but they're like you can't move when she does them. Any of them. So it's like why would I want to call a character and I can't move my character? Like I'm stuck for like 10 frames or so, just stationary. Makes no sense. It's like I feel like the cameo system just wasn't really like well fleshed out. It was just so many things just didn't make sense. And when Tremor came out, people was like, "Oh, actually, yeah, that's kind of bad. Why can't we move with some of these?" And then now Chameleon's outside. Oh, a lot of herds you can kind of move. Oh, that's how they should have been in the first place. Even like the characters that they chose for cameos, how you gonna have a mainstay like Sonya and Jax as a reduced to cameos? Now, with this jumble over mess story mode, I guess you could say, well, maybe they don't have MK1, MK2, and MK2 one Sonya and Jax, or maybe they'll have MKX or MK9 Sonya and Jax, which story mode visuals. I already kind of touched on that. Like the visuals don't really look that impressive to me. If you go back and look at MK11. Johnny Cage is the number one example people were making. They were analyzing before the game came out. Johnny Cage in this game looks horrible. His animations they are terrible. It's like he has this tight fighting. There's no expression. There's no like real movement of him. Like it looks so bad. You go back and look at MK11 Johnny Cage. It's like man, those animations are pretty solid. His fighting looks very expressive. Like he's moving his hips and using his body. MK1 is just like bro. He just looks so bad. And like I said, the visuals aren't that different. The biggest difference I can say is like, hey, the game is more vibrant in terms of colors. They pop a little more. But I think MK11 doesn't look that far off from MK1 in terms of visuals. Story mode is a jumbled mess. All they're doing is taking like MK1 story, the fighting tournament that then they're going through Deadly Alliance, then they end off on Armageddon. They just mash all it together like it's just a shepherd's pie of the stories. And the first part of it was pretty solid, like seeing Raiden as the new like monk, him and Raiden and Liu Kang. That was actually pretty. Liu Kang, Kung Lao was actually pretty cool. Then it started getting over. It's like the story mode. Just by the end, I was just like, bro, this is. I really wasn't at the end of the game. I'm not invested to see what happens at all. Like they showed it, and I'm like, I don't care. This was like it had like some cool kind of moments or whatever. I mean, and then they did the whole thing with like melding the characters together. You got like Shao Cage, Johnny Khan, Sub Chi. I'm like
It's some chi, man.
I'm like, all right. See, this is what we doing. We just fusion dancing characters together. That's what we doing.
Yeah,
All right,
man. Yeah, Ninja Mime.
bro. Like, so I know I've been long-winded, but man, I got to get this out because there were so many people like this game's good, it's so good, and man, this is
man, because you gonna be the whole YouTube clip.
boy, this game is good, and this
ain't it.
and this is and I've been 10 toes down on this rhetoric, this opinion since the game came out. I never switched up. Everybody not know. I'm sticking on what I'm saying. Now everybody's like, oh, this game took a long time for y'all to figure that out. So was you gonna say something, E?
No.
Okay, so this is another thing I think I told Rex on this. MK1 is the equivalent. People gave MVCI so much flack. Oh my gosh, this game is. There's no difference. MK1 is literally the equivalent. NRS is equivalent of MVCI. Hobbled together story mode, visuals that's oh my gosh, modes? What modes? Story mode? What invasion? Man, Invasions is like one of the biggest slaps in the face I ever seen. Oh, we're gonna give you Mortal Kombat Monopoly. That'll be fun. That's fun. Let me just run around this Monopoly board and fight towers. It's like, where's Conquest mode at? And again, I'm gonna say this too. Maybe a lot of decisions that were made was like people in suits that don't know anything about the gaming culture. Maybe some people at WB, the higher ups, maybe they were on Ed about something. Because I cannot believe that Ed Boon let a lot of that these were his ideas. And he's like, this is our game. This is a good game that we should put out to the public. And like, again, before I go further, I don't want nobody to say, well, I bought MK11 and all the DLC. I bought MKX and all the DLC. I bought MK9 and all the DLC. So right now, my opinion I know what I'm talking about. I got way to it. I played all 3 of those games immensely, and I have all the DLC for it. So it's not like I'm just saying this from you need to play. No, I played all of them. Right. So I think it had to be somebody at the top saying like, oh, we need to do this. We need to piecemeal these people. Let's nickel and dime them. Let's charge $10 for a commentator announcer voice. The DLC, I can't remember. I'm trying to remember if the DLC, the combat packs for MKX were released before the game, if we knew those. I think we knew of like Goro and somebody else, but I don't know if I got to go back and check there. But even like the DLC characters was a little lackluster. Like, so wait, we got like 2 Superman-like characters? Why don't we just have one? Why do we need Omni-Man and Homelander? And then another guy, Peacekeeper, who shoots like what's going on here? And one of my friends brought this to my attention. Once the DLC characters were on the character select screen, if you look at them, they don't even have their own like unique character select boxes, portraits. They're just placeholders from the DLC pack video. They just crop their heads out. I'm like, are you serious? Another thing, why did y'all sell those trailers for Omni-Man and Tremor as if they were releasing as a package? But Omni-Man comes out like a week or 2 before Tremor. So what was the point of even putting them in the same trailer together? You're giving off the vibe that these characters are coming together as a package, so you can play them together like this. Like, nah, well, this one coming first, and then you get the other one later. He's on the character select screen already. They're on the cameo screen already. You can see them, but you can't play them yet.
Wow.
It's like what is going on with this game, man? Like, it was stuff I saw early on. I am not changing my opinion about this, and it's kind of sad because this is another thing I kind of hate about the reviewing system of games nowadays. Like on OpenCritic, this game is like at an 80 right now. This game's quality is not indicative of an 80 at all. Like I said, 65 is the highest that it should be. But because when games come out and there's no like reviewing of the scores that they've already done, so it just stays at that. And it's like, this game is not an 80. It's not at an 80. It's just not. I don't care what's and the Switch. Oh my gosh, the Switch version. They said like, somebody else developed this. They poured outsource. Again, I would have looked at this and said, hey, you're not putting out that mess. You're not putting it out on me. You're not gonna have them saying, hey, they put out Boom put out this on the Switch. Nah, either we're gonna fix that version or we're gonna scrap it all together. When MKX came out, they wanted to do a PS3 version. They looked at that and said, oh no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. And that's what they should have done with the Switch version. But I guess because money, right? We want the money. We're gonna put it on every platform, right?
Yep.
So I've been holding this in. I've been making notes. But this, I'm like, man, Killer Instinct came out or came back up in emergencies this past year. I was playing that more than I was playing MK1. And Killer Instinct been out for like what, 10 years now? If I'm not mistaken. It's been out for quite a while.
Yeah, it's been out for a minute.
So I mean, the online, I had constant disconnects. I couldn't even get. There was a tradition of every time I got on the Combat League, I would get black screen at least once or twice, and it would count as a loss. I didn't even get into the match yet.
Oh man!
So multiple play sessions of me just going into Combat League just to play, I would take like 3 losses before I even get into a match. So it's like, what is happening here? And everybody's like, this. I'm like, man, look. This is one thing I will say about me. I love games. I love certain franchises, but I'm not going to chill and make excuses for a series I love if it's trash. I was so hyped for Callisto Protocol in 2022. That game came out a flaming turd on wheels, and I said I'm not buying it. It was pretty. It was the prettiest game that came out that year. But that game's reviews, I looked at footage. I said, this ain't it. This ain't the people that did Dead Space. This ain't not the original people that did Dead Space. I didn't buy it. And if I had known this game was gonna be this, man, the worst $110 I ever spent, man. Like it just, like I said, no modes, no conquest mode. How you gonna be the innovator of that like RPG-esque open world story mode, and Street Fighter's doing it, and y'all like, nah, we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna do this hobbled story mode and then give you invasions. You like invasions, right? You like Monopoly. You like going through spaces. You like Mario Party, right? Kind of, you know. Like, what about MK Deception, the 3D games? You had not Mario. You had a Mortal Kombat or whatever it was called, the Mario Kart clone, and you had the Puzzle Fighter clone. You had the Chess Fighter. Well, what about all that? Honestly, if they had this game to me was at least at minimum 6 months from being released, but I say more like a year.
Wow.
This, man, I don't know, man. And it's like really sad because it's like, man, this is the first time I feel like since the last 3 games come out to where they dropped the ball this hard. People have their opinions about MK11, and it's like, this is with any fighting game, but especially in the NRS community, once one game comes out, the other one dies. It's like they're just like, oh, that game won, you know. But that's with every fighting game. Street Fighter 6 came out. Oh man, Street Fighter 5 wasn't that bad. You know, Street Fighter 5 come out. Man, Street Fighter 4 is the greatest Street Fighter of all time, which is one of the best. I like me Street Fighter 4. I still play it. But if that happens in every community, I believe. But for some reason, the NRS seem like that they're like one of the more volatile with it. But I'm glad people are actually wising up now and seeing, like, come on, man, we can't. Because if this is the same problem we always talk about with Call of Duty now, Madden. These games come out and they're some of the top selling games every year, but they're garbage. They're hurriedly put together. They're just hobbled together. The same assets from last year. So we can't accept this from these people, man. They've been making bangers, man. Like, say what you want about MK11, it was not this broken at all. It had content. Another thing, when I saw they took gear away, I said, I know what's going on there. They're gonna make you pay for stuff. Their last 4 games that you released had gear. Injustice 1, Injustice 2, MK11, not MK11, but not MKX, but I think 3, that's one of them. MK11, then you had Injustice and Injustice 2. All those had gear, right? All of a sudden you just get rid of gear and you give us palette swaps. That's like some stuff from like Capcom versus SNK, KOF, just give us color swaps. Oh, I want to play as the ice version of Scorpion. I want to play as zombie Liu Kang, vampire Liu Kang. I want to play as, like, bro, really? Man, I'm gonna go ahead and stop talking, man. I think I've said enough about this game, man. I just, all I say, man, is the next NRS game that comes out, I'm usually one, like, for fighting games, I'll put my money down. I'll go ahead and buy it. I'll go ahead and buy the $110 version or whatever, like I did this time. This next MK game, I'm gonna wait till it come out first. I'm gonna wait till it come out. I'm gonna see reviews. I'm gonna see it played. I'm gonna see if somebody that I know has it. I'm play it. I'm not putting my money down just right off the bat from it anymore, because this time, man, like I said, I just spent $110 on a 141 gigabyte turd.
Jeez.
And like I said, it's just not the PC version. This whole game is terrible. No matter what console you playing on, the gameplay is solid. And again, like I said, this is NRS's version of MVCI. The gameplay was really fun, but everything else was terrible, and MK1 is no different.